Baby alligators hatch with sharp teeth and powerful jaws. But even with their fierce weapons, their chances of survival are slim. Can tiny predators become ape's predators? Welcome to my channel, and today we'll find out in a life of an alligator. Female alligators choose their nesting sites carefully. They want their eggs to be safe from predators, so they make their homes in swamps, marshes, or along the edges of lakes and rivers. In the summer, the female lays 30 to 50 eggs and guards the nest for about 3 weeks until the little ones hatch. Baby gators can't wait to get started. After all, there's a whole world of prey out there. However, the world is also full of dangers, and most baby gators will not survive. Baby gators, also known as hatchlings, are born with sharp teeth and powerful jaws. They're ready to hunt immediately. When the hatchlings leave the nest for the first time, they must cross potentially dangerous terrain to reach water. Many won't make it. Hawks, snakes, turtles, raccoons, and opossums will happily gobble up these tasty morsels. Those who do reach water have a better chance of survival, but only if they stay hidden. Gators are ambush predators, meaning they hide and then suddenly strike. Even though they're small, they have to learn how to catch prey. And this takes time. It's easier said than done, especially with so many hungry eyes watching them. Most hatchlings won't survive their first year. Only the fiercest baby gators will live to adulthood. Adult alligators live in fresh or brackish water habitats in the southeastern United States. They can be found in marshes, swamps, lakes, rivers, and even ponds. American alligators prefer slow-moving waters with plenty of aquatic vegetation. The American alligator is the larger of the two extant species of alligator, the other being the Chinese alligator. Despite their name, they're not actually crocodiles. Crocodiles typically have long, pointed snouts and only live in salt or brackish water. Alligators, on the other hand, have wide, rounded snouts and hang out in fresh water. Alligators spend most of their time in water, but they don't really swim around. Instead, they mostly float. They do this by controlling the amount of air in their lungs. When their lungs are full of air, they float at the surface. When their lungs are mostly empty of air, they sink to the bottom. In this position, they can lie in wait for unsuspecting prey. Alligators can stay underwater for up to an hour, but usually no more than 15 minutes. That's because they need to surface to breathe every now and then. Even though they're cold-blooded, they can't breathe underwater. When they pop to the surface, they take a big gulp of air and then dive back down. In general, alligators prefer to be active at night. This helps them avoid daytime temperatures that can be too hot or too cold for comfortable swimming. At night, the water temperature is usually warmer and they can hunt. Gator vision isn't great, but they do have excellent hearing. If there's movement or splashing in the water, they'll investigate. When it comes to hunting, they use their excellent sense of smell to sniff out prey. Their nostrils are located high up on their heads, which means they do and need to lift their heads very far out of the water to catch a scent. Even though alligators look mean and are capable of killing humans, they play an important role in their ecosystems. They keep populations of prey animals under control. Animals that eat aquatic plants rely on alligators to keep those plants under control. Since alligators feed on both plants and animals, they're considered omnivores. Their menu includes fish, birds, reptiles, mammals, and amphibians. Sometimes they even dine on each other. Smaller alligators might get eaten by larger alligators. Gators can eat pretty much any animal that fits in their mouths. Their teeth are designed for crushing and tearing. Although alligators have been known to cannibalize each other, they typically hunt smaller prey. Young alligators primarily eat invertebrates like mollusks, crustaceans, and worms. As they grow, they switch to fish. Adult alligators still eat fish, but they'll also tackle mammals and birds. Some of their favorite meals include muskrats, rabbits, ducks, geese, frogs, and snakes. Occasionally, they come across turtle nests and will happily gobble up the eggs. Usually, alligators eat less than 10 pounds of food per year. However, after a big meal, they can go without eating for up to 2 years. Gator metabolism is slow, which means they don't need a lot of calories to survive. When an alligator eats, it swallows its food whole. Their teeth aren't meant for chewing, so they just swallow whatever they catch. Sometimes they cough and choke as they try to get the food down. If they eat something too large, they might regurgitate it. Gators can't digest everything, so they often poop out undigested items. These can be bones, fur, shells, or even plastic. Yes, alligators sometimes eat plastic. Researchers aren't sure why they do this, but suspect that it might taste like the animals they like to eat. Plastic isn't good for alligators, and it's definitely not good for the environment. People should stop polluting waterways so gators don't mistake plastic for food. Baby alligators are born carnivorous, but as they grow, more and more vegetation shows up in their stomachs. Some adults eat almost exclusively plants. Every part of the plant gets used too. Gators eat the roots, leaves, flowers, seeds, and even the fruits. They love aquatic plants like water, hyacinths, pondweeds, and duckweed. Even though they eat a lot of plants, gators are still considered carnivorous because they eat more meat than plants. Female alligators don't reach sexual maturity until they're 6 to 10 years old. Males mature a bit earlier, reaching sexual maturity when they're 4 to 8 years old. Alligators mate during the spring and summer. Males are polygamous, mating with several females, while females mate with several males. To attract a mate, male alligators perform elaborate courtship rituals. They half nose bump, half bow to the female. Then they do a kind of victory dance, slapping their tails against the water. If the female is interested, she'll do a little wiggle dance of her own. Once the deed is done, the male leaves. The female gives birth about 40 days later. She's pregnant, but only one of her eggs will actually turn into a baby gator. The rest develop into male or female embryos that will never hatch. Because American alligators can produce 2 types of offspring from the same clutch of eggs, scientists are working hard to figure out what causes this phenomenon. They think it has something to do with the temperature inside the eggs. Now that we know what an alligator eats, let's talk about its lifespan. Alligators typically live for about 30 to 50 years in the wild. In captivity, they can live up to 80 years. The oldest alligator ever recorded lived to be 100 years old. That was a very long life of hunting and raising a family. Alligators are opportunistic hunters. They'll eat anything that moves, even if it wasn't on their shopping list. When they're young, they have to be careful not to eat anything poisonous or too big for them to swallow. As they get bigger, they can tackle pretty much anything. They don't need to chase down their prey, just wait for it to come to them. Thanks to their stealthy nature, alligators are successful predators. Their numbers were greatly reduced in the 20th century due to hunting and habitat destruction. Today, they're making a comeback, thanks to conservation efforts. Although they're still considered a vulnerable species, they're doing better than they were. Did you learn nothing? Tell us in the comments. Click the card above to watch another video. Subscribe to my channel so you don't miss out on future videos.